Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes, and thanks for joining me once again for a wander round paradise. We have been walking around this great stadium all season, talking about Brendan Rodgers' team going for the league championship, which was a priority, and then of course at the weekend wrapping up the double. It was the Scottish Cup. It was a tight game against Rangers, but every game this season has been tight in terms of the goals. But you know, there's a narrative developing around how unlucky Rangers were and how tight it was and how they were the better team. And quite frankly, I'm happy if they believe that, because when you watch it back after the emotion has gone, you'll see that Celtic were in control. They controlled and dominated possession. And for a team apparently to have been the better side, I didn't see many chances created by the opposition. I think watching that game, Brendan Rodgers picked the correct start 11. We weren't really as creative and as free-flowing as we have been in recent weeks. But when it matters, we step up. I think you look at the substitutions that Brendan Rodgers has made time and time again this season. And he has affected games positively. And you look at what happened at the weekend with Bernardo and with Ida coming in. Big questions to be asked in the summer. Do we shell out the £5 or £6 million each for these guys? I think Ida is on everybody's wish list now, and no wonder. The guy really has got nerve. He's very steely. He comes in, he scores the goal, of course. Brilliant movement to create the space. Paulo Bernardo, fantastic bit of play. Could have gone down, many players would have gone down, but he didn't. He stayed up, he made up the pace. You could see that he had the fresh legs. When you see it from a certain angle, there was so much bend on that shot as well. Tremendous effort. And then Ida, as I say, he's created his own space. He's won the game. He's written himself into Celtic folklore. Now, we don't know exactly what the price is going to be, but I tell you, if it's £5 or £6 million, you sign him. He gives you a different dynamic. He seems to be a player that Brendan Rodgers loves. You know, he's suited to the Brendan Rodgers side. And I think going into next season, if you've got Kyogo and Ida, maybe even a third striker behind him, I'll be very, very confident going into the domestic tournaments, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what he can do on the Champions League stage as well. The most important thing, of course, is that we get the result and we win the Scottish Cup, and then we can enjoy it. And for days afterwards, you're watching the celebrations, the performance of the team, of course, but the performance of the fans in the stands as well. Absolutely unbelievable scenes after the game. I mean, that walk on is something to savour. That's something that's going to be shown for generations to come. Special, special moment. But we were saying farewell to at least one of our double winning stars in Joe Hart. Joe Hart is now retired as a professional footballer after 20 years in the game. What a difference he's made in the last 3 seasons. He's been a double winner twice and a treble winner. And it shows you the level of domination that Celtic have enjoyed in recent times. If you look at the last 24 trophies in Scottish football, Celtic have won 19 of them. That's an astonishing record. And as I've said before, on A Celtic State of Mind, you can trace it even further back. You can trace it back to season 2000-2001, when the domination on the park started. That's a generation of success. And we now stand on the cusp of an opportunity to have another generation of success to follow. We know that there's going to have to be work done on the squad. Joe Hart is a priority to find a replacement for the goalie. We're possibly going to lose one of our star men in Matt O'Reilly. I don't like to talk about that. It seems kind of negative. I'd rather keep the player. But, you know, there's a lot of interest in him, and there's a lot of big money going to be offered to Celtic this summer. And that'll test our resolve. If he leaves, he's going to be replaced as well. And potentially, if we don't keep Ida and Bernardo, we're going to have to replace those 2 players. Very, very important squad players for Celtic this season. Those 2 loanees. What would you do? Let us know in the comment section. Do you keep Ida? Do you keep Bernardo? And do we make every effort possible to keep Matt O'Reilly? Or has the time come, because we know what it's like when a player wants to leave the club and it's never a good idea to keep them? Let us know in the comment section what you think. So it's the end of the season, and we ask the question, where do we go from here? As I said, massive domination, but we cannot be complacent. This season's been really, really tough, and more so than was necessary. I think in the pre-season, you've got a treble in the bag, and of course we lost our manager. So there's been that transitional period with Brendan Rodgers coming back in. So a lot of it probably should have been expected, but there were stages of that campaign there that we didn't look as though we were going to win the league, and that would have been something of a disaster at this stage. But thankfully, Brendan Rodgers was able to focus on a core group of players who he could trust, and they got us over the line. But now the hard work starts. We need to start crafting Brendan Rodgers' squad, players that he has brought in. You look at even the starting lineup there for the Scottish Cup final, and from the starting 11 there were no new signings, no guys that we had brought in this year. The guys that made the difference off the bench, of course, were new signings, but it's something that we need to do. We need to add quality to the side. It sounds almost cliched now, it's been said so often. Where do we strengthen? Well, we know we need a new goalkeeper. Joe Hart's retiring. We might have to replace Matt O'Reilly, Adam Ida or a replacement, Paulo Bernardo or a replacement. So before you even look to strengthen the left back or on the wings or in the central defensive areas, you're looking at a number of players. It could be 7 or 8 coming into this squad. The squad is bloated. There's 35 first team players in the squad at the moment. Brendan Rodgers wants that cut down to 25. So there's going to be a lot of comings and goings over the summer months. And you just hope that when we go into the next campaign, Brendan Rodgers has got players in the building that he is happy with. You just have to look at the fact that a lot of the new signings haven't been playing in the last few months to show that Brendan Rodgers wasn't really happy with the standard of signing last summer. We can't make the same mistake. We have got a great opportunity going into the Champions League. It's a new format, more money, more games, more opportunities. So we're going to be playing 8 games, 4 here at Celtic Park, 4 away from home, 8 different teams. And if you're able to get into that middle section of the league, then you'll have a playoff, another 2 games, effectively the last 16 in Europe. That should be our target. Some people might think that that's pie in the sky, but you improve this team by 4 or 5 quality players, and then that could be doable. We could achieve that as a football club. It's built on European success. In the last 24 years, we've got into the group stages of the Champions League 9 times. We've managed to progress into the last 16 3 times. That has to be the ambition of the football club. So I'm looking really forward to the new personnel coming in, the head of recruitment, the head of scouting, and then we can look towards Europe next season as a viable tournament that we don't just turn up and participate in, but we actually go and look to try and progress as a football club. Let us know in the comments section who else we need to buy, what else we need to do to strengthen this side, and if you're looking forward to the new Champions League format next season. For the second time, I am delighted to welcome Kevin McDermott onto A Celtic State of Mind. Welcome back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
How long? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah. It was your sort of venue in the toll booth in Stirling, which was at that time just sound only, and I managed to knock that off at the time, so we'll see how we go with this.
That was good fun. Playing a few tunes, talking about the football.
Yeah.
And when you come back here, as we met earlier on today, you were saying it's quite an emotional place for you.
Well, it is, because I spent 17 years here working as not as an artist, but as an artist, you'd be accommodating, flexible, in any way you can to make ends meet. So that's how it started here in 2002. So as I was invited along, because back in Fallen to Wee Fergus, who fantastic stadium we have here behind us, but maybe some of the steel quality and whatnot maybe wasn't the most expensive, so they had problems, I think, hanging a permanent PA from Stress Points, which played into the hands of my mate who owns a PA company, or did own a PA company, and fancy coming on Saturday, give us a hand. I'm not a problem, I'll do that. So we've put the PA in for every home game, AGM, training day, whatever. So I was there for quite a lot. I think I've seen many different facets and elements to what actually happens behind the scenes, and it's absolutely great. So, and it was 2002, so it was on the road to Seville as well. So I'm seeing beach balls and flamenco dancers, and I'm thinking, wow, what's going on here? What is this? But then again, I thought it was always going to be like that, and it wasn't. But however, I've seen Henrik, I've seen Ronaldinho, and I'm getting Messi and whatever, all at this place here. So it's like, gate 2 there, it's like I can see that I'm waiting for a van to arrive with a whole bunch of PA stuff in it, and I've got to hunt it in and then plug it up, and then testing, and then go to the Scary Dairy over there, which you could just spend more than a tenner on a what you bought. I'll be 10 rolls and sausage, 4 black pudding and fried egg, and 3 cans of Coke, and then £5.76. And there's a wee statue of the Virgin Mary beside a tin of mince, It was scary. It was great. Oh, it was just crazy.
Scary,
And 17 years later, I'm still in the centre circle watching Neil Lennon come in to the centre circle to be interviewed to pick up the trophy again. So, time flies. Time flies.
Time flies. Special memories.
Yeah, it's all ingrained in there. I mean, it was a slow starter, I have to admit, because I was born in Firhill Street.
Yeah.
So, as you can imagine, going to use left air mister. So, it was the Jags. So, you have first loves, then you have other loves. And sometimes your other loves kind of overtake your, where you're at and all the rest of it. And it's like, so this kind of happened to me. And it's similar. Well, I know how that works, I know how this works. All in this stadium here, and it's just like, it all comes together and you kind of like, you feel part of it. I know maybe that's a bit kind of playing mind games on myself. I like to think I was part of something that generated in an organic fashion. I was part of it. So when I come back here, I'm still, like I say, waiting for a van to pull up at gate 2 and like, here we go boys, like, and then humping all in, and then Hazy the groundsman bawling you out for stepping on the grass at the wrong time or something like that. It's like, and that's all that's happened, and I've seen higher profile than certain individuals stepping in the grass at the wrong time and getting a right bawling out. So it was funny.
Brilliant. But there is an energy, isn't there? There's an emotion when you come up here.
Absolutely. It's in the bricks, and I know that's a bit of a cliche and a trope and all the rest of it, but all the folk that I've seen come and go, and even back with the reserve matches, I remember coming here, we were talking earlier about the old stadium, and the first players I knew were Davy Carnac and Paul Wilson and Vic.
Quality Street kids.
Yeah, Vic Davidson. These are the players that I remember from there. So I brought all that with me, and then went to Canada, came back. I think my dad had ideas that maybe there is a darker element to living in Glasgow, one way or another. You can't really deny it. So maybe we went there for that, but no one was very settled. So we came back again, and I'm back into the old routine of football, skateboard, and punk rock. Football, skateboard, and punk rock. That was me from that. I'm a bit of a thrill seeker, or I don't know, anything that's new and shiny. It's like, well, we'll have some of them. I'll be doing that for a while. We'll see how we go.
But you've got a creative mind. This is the thing. And when we met up this morning, Kevin, you handed me something that we were meant to meet many moons ago to have an exchange, and obviously Acsom will use it for charitable purposes. And it's a tour jacket from back in the day.
Well, yeah, it's not the most fashionable item of clothing I would venture, but it's been embroidered, came down to orchestra, and it was out for members of the band and a couple of crew as well. And it is original, and it's very old, and it's worthwhile having. So if it's of any use to,
that's really kind of you.
No, it's my pleasure, absolutely my pleasure. And it's like, again, I'm a junior in there. I want to be part of something. It's like, that's kind of what I do. And I'm not the kind of, I've been around in the music industry for a while, but I've never been the kind of tortured artist in the attic. It's never been me. And I felt foul with certain elements because of that, because I feel I'm an doer, and I'm not self-loathing and self-hating and whatnot. I don't, so that's quite an easy, it's easy to write about that if you're a reviewer or whatever else, but I'm maybe doing folk at the service, but I've always been kind of like, I like pop music, I like Joy Division, I like the Carpenters, so and I'm bringing all that to, I like the Buzzcocks, but country and western, but that's like, so I'm kind of, I can't really be downbeat and have an act that's an act as in a performance that reflects that is my personality. It's my personality. I'm as likely falling laughs as break into tears or whatever else, with the way that I say about my music and stuff like that. So, yeah.
When we spoke back in the day in the toll booth, we dug into what the music industry was like back in the 80s, and big record contract with Island Records.
Yeah.
Since then, I've spoken to some musicians who have said to me the biggest change they've noticed is back in the day, you would release a record and then you would tour it to promote the record.
Yeah.
And now they're releasing a record to promote the tour.
Yeah, it's almost...
Is it flipped on its head?
Yeah, it's like a calling card now. But you need to be able to back to that old hoary chestnut of finance.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money to have a t-shirt manufactured in the first place, you can't sell one. So you have to do, it's a balancing act. And but first of all, do what you love and what you think you're good at, which is making the music. And if you can't do that, then, go and be something else. Be a good plumber, be a good joiner, cut some shelves, And that's not being patronised. It's like, the pie's that much bigger, but the slice is that much weirder. So there we are.
With the big changes.
Yeah, all that.
And the way that people consume the music.
Yeah, I mean, the music's free now, pretty much. You need to, but we need to kind of, you can't carry around the notion that because you've done something really great that it should be recompensed for that, because that's not going to happen. You need to be very, not savvy, that sounds a bit Machiavellian, but you need to be aware that there's more to this than just like, you can't hand it over to a record company and suddenly they will do all the work for you. You've got to be able to do everything. To some degree or other, certainly I wouldn't be, if I can hire a photographer, then I will hire a photographer. If I can hire somebody to make videos, then I will do that. I can't do all that, but I know folk that can, and I can maybe from a much varied existence making money outside of the music business, which is lots of part-time jobs. It all goes to the into the pot for me to continue going to the studio and making videos and making music, and it's who I am. I know that sounds a fairly kind of self-righteous, but that's kind of what I do. I kind of help it. I did find something this morning actually. It reminds me of my life here, which was when we were watching all the matches. We were up at the DJ booth, right? Which you could either stand outside the DJ booth, and if it's a really freezing day, you could be, take part of the other bears, but the DJ would throw this little item here, right, is the weight from one of those vertical blinds, the where you can open and close them with a bit of string. But it's also the doorstop from the DJ booth, which we watched over the shoulders of Tony Hamilton and Tam McKinley and Jerry the DJ for 17 years, and all that held the door open. So I had to take that with me.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Yeah, hey, there we are. Yeah, nothing looked like much, but it mattered.
I thought you were going to say it was Tiger Tim's doorstop for a minute.
I think
there.
Jerry,
the night the door was closed,
wasn't there. I wasn't there. But I've heard tell of shenanigans. But that's what happens.
Tiger Tim.
I know. He meant well, I think, but I don't. Like certain powers that be, perhaps thought.
Exactly. You were talking about videos, and recently, anyone who follows you on the social media channels will see that you've been busy making some quality videos. I've got to ask, we've been talking about jackets today.
Right.
It was a very special jacket worn by you in one of your latest videos. Where on earth did you pick that up? The glittery one?
Oh yeah, that's so good. Anywhere and everywhere. I can't, when I'm making videos, I can't suddenly change my cheeks in and pretend that I'm 30. I won't do it. But
I said that before we started filming.
Yeah, but I can play characters, which is what I kind of write like that as well. I can write in character. So when I'm making a video, I can actually be a character within my own video as well. So I lean towards that because I am the age I am, and I've been doing. My first record was out in 1983, and it's like when folks say, "Oh, you're this and you're that, and you're a rock this or that." So I think about. See all these compilations of the young sound of Scotland and whatnot. You'll find me there as well, as a swed crocodile, no less. We've song called "Stop the Rain," which I still love.
I love that.
Well, it's great. It's just like, I think I've come full circle. The new single Shannon has actually a nod to, the bebop, a loop up, a loud bam boom. It doesn't have to be that eloquent when it's pop music. There is a narrative within the song itself, but there's a Farfisa solo, there's a key change, there's an intro, there's a guitar hook, there's a lot in there, and the whole 3 minutes long, and it's exactly 3 minutes long deliberately, just to kind of to use as the
perfect pop tune, isn't it?
Well, I had to go at it.
Yeah,
I had to go at it. I'm capable.
And you found some badges recently as well, Swede Crocodile.
Yes, I did. I did. Well, I should have bought one for you actually. I've got a wee bag of them, yeah.
Original 1983.
Yeah, handmade. Yeah, I actually bought a badge maker to try and, make a Bob selling his originals. No, I didn't. That's a joke.
You did it all yourself. I read Bobby Gillespie's book, Alan McGee's book, and they were talking about that whole DIY kind of approach to, actually packaging their own records, putting them in their own sleeves and all that kind of thing.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Fantastic.
It's hard work. Again, I used to go busking with Andrew Innes before Primal Scream existed. I used to go busking with a sax player of all things, and people that know me well know that I'm not fond of a saxophone. I'm really not, as I told Jerry Rafferty at one time, and his wife stopped him from killing me. But No, me and Andrew went out and give it Strangers in the Night. So that was way back. And Andrew was doing a lot of that stuff as well. He was making his own records in his bedroom in Isle of Dogs, where everybody at that time that went to London would find somewhere to crash. Or somebody that was actually living there. In my case, my connection was Andrew, so we'd kind of crash in his place. So it was all good memories.
We had Andrew up here for the Lazio game.
Right,
as a guest up at the Celtic game, and it was surreal. Because obviously he's Andrew to you, but he's that guy for Primal Scream.
I get that. I get that.
And it was just tremendous to actually enjoy that victory with one of my musical heroes. It was fantastic.
I'm a good kick a ball in his day as well. It was good. It was good.
But that takes us on to something you mentioned the last time you were on. And by the way, go check it out on the YouTube channel. It's an audio-only podcast, for it was a tremendous session we did. And you did play the Suede Crocodile song, which, you did, an acoustic version. It was phenomenal. But you mentioned, back in the day, talking about kicking a ball, the old, was it 5 or 7 asides? The music, the Glasgow band got together.
Or a Friday at 1 o'clock. Because everybody can recognise that if you're not touring or in the studio or something, you're not doing anything for a lot of the week, and you need a bit of structure. So it was myself and Gunn had a team. Justin was in my team, and most of the bands you'll find that Texas. Everybody had a football team. Bill and Sebastian, they played on a Tuesday right now, so I kind of jumped the fence a wee bit, so I'd play with them on a Tuesday.
Brilliant.
And, but you got folk who musically would not be bedfellows, would go to the pub after, and they would talk about anything but music, or maybe not the music that they were making. You talk about records you'd heard, or what your influences were, just like anybody would in the pub, but you never talked about your stuff, because that would be like poor etiquette. We don't do that here. That's not happening. So Stuart, I think he's with it and all. Stuart Murdoch, for us was kind of, he acts a bit phased, more like that, honestly. So he's really funny, and he can put you up on the pitch before as quick as anything.
Yeah. So which band had the best team, Kevin? You're going to?
We did. Yeah. We actually murdered everybody. No, it's because we took it seriously. Didn't stop. To coin a phrase from a previous incumbent here, we just absolutely pummeled everybody. One particular member on one was at the Shack. We would have won about 27-0, but we couldn't chuck it. It just couldn't do it because it'd be like shite at him. It's like, or it's like, I was in the D. No, it's like, no, it was like having a Barney where the ball was in the D or not. It's like, it's a Friday Fives.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You mentioned Shaq. Mick Head for me is a genius, but for many years flew under the radar. It's great to see that he's now getting a bit of commercial acclaim.
Yep, I went to see him just recently at St. Luke's. Great band. That's just like one of these artists you go and see. It's like, what's not to like? Why are you taking against this guy?
Classic
shot. Very, very good.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't need to know that he has this background or that background, or he likes that kind of music, or somebody from that magazine didn't like what he does, or whatever. It doesn't actually matter. I'm standing here at a gig, I'm watching that guy singing and playing, and his band are great, and he's great. Why am I applying all these metrics to this? I'm enjoying myself. I don't really need to have somebody else's opinion on this. My foot's going, I'm balding my head. That's what it's supposed to happen. That's a natural order of things.
Yeah.
I'd like to think to some degree I might fulfill that for somebody else, but it's just, first and foremost, be good at what you do. If you can't be good, enjoy it at least, and that's I'm not going to high and mighty on that. It's just an opinion. Just so many folk and it's harder these days. I take my hat off to young folk who just starting in the industry. It's so hard.
Must be tough.
So hard. Yep. It's like, what do you you'd think we just put a lemming suit on and jump over a cliff. That's kind of the way, that's kind of, it feels that way sometimes. And I think, well, they must be enjoying it. They ought to be enjoying that, because otherwise, what other reason are you doing it? Because it's hard. It's hard.
One of the great things that we discovered when we were doing the sessions, Kevin, was the amount of talent that was coming through in Scotland, and we were blessed to have sessions from the likes of Brooke Combe, Rhiann Downey, PG Carletta, the Raz, brilliant bands, Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves, and they were all from Scotland, and it was just great to see this group of Scottish bands coming through. Hopefully they can succeed. This is
I hope so.
Maybe I'm biased, right? But I always kind of look at a lot of the people in the arts who seem to gravitate towards this football club. Comedians, actors, musicians, artists. Why do you think that is?
It's an organic it's just natural. There are other teams that there seems to be a requirement to have a certain attitude and be of a certain stripe of individual to be admitted to the ranks or something. That's the way it feels to me. Whereas Celtic has always seemed to just be, it's just like, oh, come away in, you want to, I just like, that's all it takes. You just need to be, there's a parallel with the music thing here. It's just like you're enjoying kicking the ball and you're with a team that you really enjoying playing for, and it's like, well, you don't need people totally, needing a requirement for you to fulfil certain criteria to play for us. It's like, go on, just enjoy yourself and be good. That's enough. Be good at that. Yeah. I'm not sure what my point is there, but it's just again, a Scottish football sometimes. I mean, your colleague, I think I admire greatly because I watch him, Jim Orr, on your channel. Very pragmatic. To the point, I enjoy his patter about, and also your colleague Kevin Grave about Scottish football. The European matches are where it's at for me. You're talking about Andrew and Lazio. That's where I really get my kicks, when I see like the levels match us against them, because not controversial, but it's an opinion of mine. It's just like, see, if you take away the league and then access to European football, the rest to me is like almost two bald men fighting over a comb. If you take away the European element, it's kind of a wee bit like that. I do enjoy Scottish football grassroots, a lot of really tight games, a lot of talent there. Really, we want to be matching against the rest of the planet to see where things really are, and that matters to me.
Mm-hmm. Without doubt. Now, you're active, you're productive. Tell us a wee bit about what you're up to right now, your new music, because obviously we'll share the links underneath this video.
Right.
But tell the audience what you've been up
to. Well, I have a plan. There's an album in the can, but as we've been not alluding to, saying it straightforward right out there's no music, there's no money to be made in putting singles out in a physical format. So what I'll be doing is every 2 months or so I'll be releasing a new single. I'll be calling it a single, a 45, although there's nothing rotating at 45 RPM, it's not happening. But every single will have a video with it, so I'm teasing you in, oh, I like that. And you'll listen to it, you'll download it, and maybe if you fancy it, give me some money on Bandcamp or donate or whatever else, just to put in the pot for next time. And then there'll be another single with a video, then there'll be another single and a video, and then there'll be another single, and 8 singles in, we'll then look at putting a physical record out, something that I'll give you this, and you give me that, and I'll go to the studio and make another one. So that makes it about maybe 8 months down the line or something like that. I mean, there'll be 11, 12 songs on the albums, but only 8 are really a single. Some are a bit kind of, a bit intense to be singles. I wouldn't really call them a single and such, but I might make a video for it anyway, because that strange pathways that certain little dark episodes lead you down. So, but so that's in about 8 months will be a physical release, which might well be a groove on a Fabergé egg or something, and I'll try and sell it to you for lots of money. You can nurture it and love it and keep it and play it and listen to it. But there will be a physical album in a few months' time, but I will keep putting singles out. The new one was out Friday there, Sha-Na-Na, which is my pop 3-minute exactly song. And actually there's a subtext to that, Who Shot the Sha-Na-Na. It's about, I was rehearsing with my chums in Shakespeare Street Youth Club in Maryhill, if you're from that area, you know where that is, but next to it's a TA halls. And they didn't like the racket we were making, so 2 soldiers were sent to get me from the TA halls, and they marched me in to meet the Heady, who sat behind the desk, and was like, who are you? And I'm like, who are you? And that did actually happen, but and the narrative is a narrative kind of follows those lines. So who shot the Sha-Na-Na? But again, it's there's a narrative there, but also it states the fact that if it's pop music, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're tapping your foot and you're quite enjoying that guitar intro, and listen to my wee brother's drum thing at the start, that's great. Listen to that, and you're like, oh, I like that. It's a bit Elvis Costello, it's a bit The Waz, it's a bit this, that and the other. It's like, well, that's what it's meant to be like.
Yeah.
You enjoyed that, didn't you? We'll have some of that then. That's kind of the way I'm born with that.
That's fantastic. Now, Kevin, you are welcome on Acsom anytime. You're great to have you back.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So here we are at the champions of Scottish football. This is the home, this is paradise, and we've gone for a wander around it every week for the last 42 weeks. So thanks everybody for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to set up this new show, and there's another new show actually in the works. We're going to start filming that this week, and it will be on the channel on Friday. It's called This is Acsom, from Barrafield to the Barrowlands. So subscribe to the channel, never miss an episode. There's a lot to be excited about in the world of Celtic right now. We move into a pre-season where there's going to be the Euros as well. 4 Celts involved in the Scotland squad. We're going to be covering all the games that have any kind of Celtic interest whatsoever. So subscribe to the channel, give us a big thumbs up on this particular video, and for everything else we're doing, all the links are underneath this page. The interview with Kevin McDermott was tremendous. Lovely guy, creative genius, and links to his new tunes are under this video as well. Come and join us for one of our live events. We're going to be joined by Stan Petrov, Alan Thompson and Jackie McNamara on the 27th of June at Barras Art and Design in Glasgow, and the tickets are going fast, but if you want to come along and join us, click on the link under this video. Thanks everybody for joining us again, and come back at 12:30 tomorrow for a Celtic State of Mind.